Welcome. Thank you for joining our presentation hosted by the University of British Columbia. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to wherever you are joining us today. My name is Cherry, and I'm an Associate International Student Recruiter and Advisor here at UBC. Today, I'm joined by a current UBC student, Talia, and if you wouldn't mind introducing yourself before we get started.
Sure, yeah. My name is Talia. I'm a current UBC student, like Cherry said. I'm in my 4th year in the Faculty of Arts, doing a double major in English Honors and German. And I'm originally from Colorado in the United States, so I am an international student.
Great. And I'll go over the agenda for today. This presentation will be approximately 20 to 30 minutes in length, and we'll cover 3 key points: why UBC, what the university has to offer in terms of both in and outside the classroom, more information about costs and scholarships, and how to apply to UBC. I would also like to take a moment to note that this presentation is being recorded. Therefore, if your internet connection discontinues at any moment, do not worry, as you have an opportunity to rewatch this presentation. In addition, Talia and I will be available afterwards to answer any questions you may have via the live chat text box up on the top tab of this presentation. UBC is consistently ranked in the top 40 universities around the world. 158 companies have been spun off from UBC research. And what that means to you is that UBC is a research-intensive university, and our students have the opportunity to conduct and engage in research. And UBC promotes active learning both in and outside the classroom environment. At this moment, I'd like to ask Talia, what attracted you to UBC, and why did you ultimately decide to come to UBC?
Yeah, so I was very set on coming to UBC, but originally, coming from the United States, we don't really know much about Canada, and I was very disinterested. But my older brother actually wanted to come to school up at UBC, and so my parents made me come on a campus tour, and I absolutely fell in love with it. It really felt like home to me. Some of the things that really were important to me were definitely the global perspective, being able to interact with people from all over the world was very important. The high academic standing, I'm a very academic person. I want to continue into academics for the rest of my life, so that was very important to me. And it just seemed like a very nice community feel. The city of Vancouver as well, it's a very friendly, very welcoming place, very warm as far as the just social atmosphere. So this ended up being the only university I actually applied to coming out of high school. So I was definitely very set on UBC, and I'm very happy now that I am here. So.
Great.
Yeah.
The University of British Columbia has 2 locations on the east coast of Canada in the province of British Columbia. Today we're presenting from the Vancouver campus, located in the city of Vancouver. We also have the UBC's Ognon campus, located east of Vancouver, an hour by air and 4 hours by road, outlined on this map on your screen. UBC's Vancouver campus is home to approximately 34,000 undergraduate students, with 12% of the students are international. This campus is a self-contained campus with student residences, theaters, restaurants, sports field, and yet it's only 20 minutes away from downtown Vancouver. As you can see, we're also surrounded by the Pacific Ocean. The city of Vancouver has approximately 2.4 million inhabitants, and over 40% of the inhabitants are from outside of Canada, making Vancouver truly a multicultural, diverse cosmopolitan that is surrounded by rainforests and, once again, the Pacific Ocean. However, if you find UBC's Vancouver campus a little bit too big for you, we have UBC's Ognon campus, which is smaller. As you can see, there's approximately 7,500 undergraduate students in our Ognon campus, and it truly provides an intimate learning environment. And similar to our Vancouver campus, it's a self-contained campus with all the student resources and amenities that students need on campus, yet it's only 20 minutes away from downtown Kelowna. As noted in the previous slide, the city of Kelowna has a population just under 180,000 people, and it's located on the banks of Lake Okanagan. It's a premier vacation destination in Canada where the students and the people have access to ski slopes, the bike trails, and outdoor activities. We also have a 15-to-1 student-teacher ratio at UBC, and 99% of our faculty members have PhDs. And rather than me talking about what it's like to study at UBC, I think it'd be a great point for Talia to share about your experiences, what it's like to study in the classroom and engage with your professors.
Sure, yeah, it's surprisingly really easy and a lot of fun. I definitely came out of high school with this perception that it was going to be all on my shoulders and I was going to have to do everything myself and it was going to be really stressful. But the professors here are amazing. In my experience, they've been very accommodating, very friendly. Each one of our professors here at UBC Vancouver is required to hold 2 or 3 hours of office hours every week. That's actually our #1 underused resource here, so we really encourage students to be going to their professors' office hours, chatting with them, introducing themselves, getting involved in research, and that's all been very accessible to me. I tend to really like getting to know my professors, and at the end of every term, I do send personal letters to each one of my professors to thank them. And I actually bumped into one of my professors from last year recently, and he was like, "Thank you so much for your note, like it meant so much to me." And then we got to talking, and he was telling me about a number of undergraduate research conferences, as well as one graduate research conference that he wants me to submit my work to, even though I'm just an undergraduate. So it was really cool to see how even just those little things, those little moments of staying connected with your professors can really, make sure that they keep you in mind and that they're getting in touch with you about really cool opportunities. So it's been very positive for me. I definitely love my classroom learning and also find that socially a lot of learning takes place outside of the classroom as well, which is very important to me. So the discussions I have with my friends are always really good intellectual discussions, and I feel like I really can continue my learning outside of the UBC classroom as well, which is cool.
Right.
Yeah.
As I mentioned, UBC is a global community. We have over 10,000 international students from 148 different countries around the world. And as Talia mentioned, that you really have different cultural perspectives when your classmates are from around the world. And if that's not international enough for you, you're more than welcome to take advantage of our study abroad programs, as we have over 200 exchange institutions in 48 different countries for partnerships for our students to study abroad. Now, that was a brief overview about our 2 spectacular locations at UBC and a bit about UBC. However, learning is not just within the classroom. And also, as a student, you should also be really interested on pursuing what your interests are outside the classroom. And UBC has many ways to do so. Pictured here is Eva Kwan, a UBC psychology student that was placed in a paid co-op placement this past year, working for the Canadian Space Agency. She was able to work with astronaut Chris Hadfield about the mental and physical needs of being in space for 6 months. Over 4,000 UBC students have been participated and placed in paid co-op work placement with such companies as Disney, Warner, Time Warner, Google, Microsoft, and Apple. As I mentioned previously, studying abroad is definitely a huge component at UBC, and UBC has one of the largest exchange and study abroad programs in North America. And here I provided a link for you to check out if you have any more questions or interested about what kind of programs you can participate in. Here we have a UBC student that was in Paris last year, and she participated in the Sciences Po program in France. Housing. We have a vibrant community in our student housing with more than half of our first-year students participating or living in residence on campus. It's truly a great way for students to immerse yourself. And I know, Talia, you in your first year, you actually stayed in residence. What was it like, and what kind of support did you have in residence?
Yeah, I was a bit nervous about the first-year residence experience, just because sometimes the dorms are, they're talked up about being like really, college-y. But I had such an amazing time living in first-year residence. It was actually a really crucial time for me to be on campus. I was able to interact so much more with my peer group and really made all of my best friends in that first year. I was able to keep in touch with things that were going on around campus much easier than if I had not been living on campus. And the first-year residence experience was really just amazing. We have residence advisors who live on the floors with the students in first-year residence. And they're upper year level students who are basically there to support you. So my residence advisor, Melindy, was really cool, and she's still one of my good friends to this day, and was always there to support me if I ever needed anything or those times when I was feeling homesick. But overall, residence was such an incredible experience, and after my first year I did decide to move off campus to experience the city of Vancouver a bit more, since I was so excited about that. But living in first year residence, I think, was really crucial for me to find out what my interests were and how to stay involved in those, so that in later years while I was living off campus I knew what I should be looking for, you know, how to stay up to date with everything. So I definitely think it's very crucial for students to be living on campus in first year, and I really highly recommend, if you're going to be coming here, please, 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 especially coming internationally, living on campus is so much fun. So.
Yeah, and I also like to know that for all first-year university students who are applying are guaranteed housing when they submit their application. So it's definitely a great resource for you to take advantage of. Sports. Whether you are an elite athlete or a casual competitor, we have many opportunities for students to stay active. We have 33 varsity teams, 15 recreational leagues, and over 50 recreational classes available for students to participate in. In this slide, we have Haley, who is a UBCO nursing student, and she won the MVP in her team for women's soccer. We also have clubs across our 2 campuses, over 300 clubs for you to choose from, whether it's social justice, cultural, outdoors, crafts. There's tons of clubs for students to participate, and it's a great way for students to get involved and meet like-minded students like yourself. Talia, I know you're actually in some clubs, is that correct?
Yeah.
And maybe you want to speak about that.
Sure, yeah, clubs are definitely a great way to stay involved. It's fun because clubs are a little bit, usually they're a bit of a smaller commitment than getting involved in, you know, maybe like a work-learn position or something like that. So they're a good way to stay involved, but not in a way that's going to add another commitment to your life. It's just a fun thing to do. Probably my favorite club has been the UBC equestrian team. I've been riding horses for 14 years now, and I actually brought my horse with me from Colorado to Vancouver when I moved up here, and she lives just about 10 minutes down the road from UBC Vancouver. So that's been really fun to continue that passion while I've been here, and the UBC equestrian team has been really great. They've just started getting funding actually from UBC, so they do different shows around the area, and there's a lot of social events, which is really nice. And of course there's tons of other great clubs as well. I really like the UBC Ski and Board Club. I love getting to go to Whistler Blackcomb, our world-class ski resort right off campus, and go snowboarding during the winter. The UBC Food Society is another one of my favorites. We get to go all over the city of Vancouver and eat really good food for really cheap. So there's all different sorts of ways to get involved, whatever it is that interests you. There's probably either a club already established for that, or you're always welcome to start your own club and kind of further your interests that way as well. So
that's great. UBC is also dedicated towards sustainability, whether that's having our buildings or facility management and research. UBC is truly a sustainable institution. Pictured right here is the Center for Interactive Research on Sustainability, the most sustainable building in North America, and is also one of the handful of buildings that provide net positive benefits. And what that means is that rather than just using up energy, it's also producing additional energy for the buildings around it. Research, as we mentioned before, both Talia and I, research is a really key, big component at UBC, as UBC is a research-intensive university. Pictured here are a group of UBC students that went to the Pyramid Lab near Mount Everest Base Camp in 2013, where they were measuring blood flow in humans at high altitude. So regardless if you're an undergrad, at some point you would be able to participate in research projects that would have global significance. Alumni. Finally, when you graduate UBC, you'll be joining 250,000 of alumni, and you will be in company enrolled scholars, Nobel laureates, astronauts, and prime ministers. With this vast alumni network, you will have the opportunity and tap into these resources throughout the world, and it's a great resource for our starting young professionals. Now, programs. So that was an overview about the activities and involvement that you can do at UBC, both in and outside the classrooms. And we also have a lot of programs available. With over 250 programs available for students to choose from, you're really able to customize and follow your passions. Talia, you mentioned at the beginning that you are doing a dual degree in German and English, I believe. That's correct?
Yeah.
Maybe you want to discuss about how you've came to finding your degree in your academic journey.
Yeah, so like I said earlier, academics are really important to me, and while I've been involved in a lot of amazing things, I've had a number of student jobs here, a lot of different club activities, going to Whistler, riding my horse, all different sorts of things. Definitely the biggest part of my journey has been my academics, and that's something that's very important to me. So in my first year, I started in a program called Arts 1. It's one of our 4 gateway programs here at UBC. We offer 2 in sciences and 2 in arts. So Arts 1, Coordinated Arts, or Science 1 and Coordinated Science. So they're really cool cohort programs where all of the students in those programs are working together for the whole year. So you're in a group of about 100 students and usually 5 professors working together your whole first year. That's where I found my really strong peer group, and it also really prepared me well for moving on to honors programs, starting right in my second year. So Arts 1 was very crucial for me to kind of finding my path. I didn't really know what I wanted to do, and Arts 1 was a really good structure for me in my first year to delve a lot more deeply into my studies. And then, yeah, after first year, I went into English honors in second year and added a German major in third year after that. So ended up with a double major in English honors and German. I'm definitely really enjoying it. It's been very interesting to see the links between the 2 fields. Learning German has helped me with learning the Germanic roots for different English words, so I've learned more about etymology that way. And now that I'm in my 4th year, I'm actually writing my thesis for English honors, which I'm really excited about. So research here at UBC really isn't just focused on sciences. It's all across fields. It seeps into humanities as well. So whatever it is that you're interested in, getting involved in research is very important. It took me a really long time to figure out what I wanted to write my thesis on, but I've decided on modernism and Virginia Woolf. So I've started kind of doing my research now. I'm working for the next 8 months on my thesis, and at the end of it, I'll have a 40 to 50 page paper already under my belt, which will be great preparation for grad school or any other path that I choose to pursue. So yeah, it's been a really fantastic academic journey. I'm really excited about my thesis, and yeah, I love UBC.
That's great. I can totally feel your passion about your thesis, and it's a great thing. Now, how to apply to UBC? When you apply to UBC on your application, you have 2 options, 2 choices. You would choose the program that you're interested in, which campus, whether it's studying on the Vancouver campus, Okanagan campus, you can list it there. And when you apply to UBC, you're applying to a faculty and not particularly a major. So for example, if you're interested in psychology, you would be applying to the Faculty of Arts. And when you apply to UBC, you'll need to meet our requirements. And I'll go into further detail about that in the next slide. Our application has already opened, and the deadline is January 31st. And you can find more information about that on our website at yu.ubc.ca. Admission to UBC is competitive. You must be in a recognized college preparatory curriculum, and what that really means is that you just need to be in a recognized high school curriculum, whether that's IB diploma, the British pattern, or the American curriculum. You also need to meet requirements. Our general admission requirements are dependent on your curriculum. So whether it's IB, you'll need the higher levels and standards, or American curriculum, which would be taking a SAT or ACT. It really depends. There's also program-specific requirements, and that depends on which faculty that you'll be applying to. There'll be a list of courses that you will need to satisfy. English is the primary language of instruction at UBC. Therefore, all our applicants and our prospective students will need to meet and demonstrate a minimum level in English. Therefore, we have the English language admissions requirement, or ELAS, and there's 9 ways to meet this requirement, and you can find more information on our website. On your application, there's a huge component called the personal profile. And the personal profile is something that allows UBC to learn more about you as a student. We UBC is definitely looking for students who are academically strong, but we also want to look at a student more on a holistic approach. So the personal profile will have a list of about 4 to 8 short essay questions, no more than 200 words, about your experiences, your leadership opportunities, and any challenges that you may have. And here I've listed the link on our mission, requirements, and how to apply to UBC. So feel free to explore that page. Here on this slide, we have about cost and tuition to UBC. Now, one thing I like to point out is the word approximate. This is an approximate amount of what it's like to study as an international student in your first year. Now, UBC tuition is based on credit. So depending on which faculty you're being applying to, the credit value may vary. So this is approximate for average for our students about $26,000. And we've also included living expenses. And in the living expenses, there's it includes housing, food, and extra spending money. And just under $3,000 are studying resources, and that includes your textbooks and course materials. Once again, all of this is an estimate, and it really varies depending on your living lifestyle and how you spend your money. Scholarship and awards. I know that a lot of you are probably interested about this, and I'm glad to inform you that UBC dedicates over $10 million annually towards awards, scholarship, and financial assistance to our international undergraduate students. The first 2 awards listed up there, the Outstanding International Student Award and International Major Entrance Scholarship, are merit-based awards. So as I mentioned previously, when you apply to UBC and complete your personal profile, you're automatically considered for these 2 awards as they're merit-based. The last 2 awards, the International Leader of Tomorrow and Donald A. Waring International Awards, are need-based awards. So not only are we looking for a student who's academically strong, but we're also looking at their financial needs and their commitment to their involvement to their community and school. Please know that these 2 awards that the students will need to be nominated by their schools. And once again, there's a link at the bottom of the slide if you'd like to find out more information on the requirements and how to apply for these awards. Now, this presentation is coming to an end. If you find that UBC is a right fit for you, I would recommend that you visit us at yu.ubc.ca. And if possible, if you could, it would be best if you could visit us in person at one of our campus tours. And we have campus tours at both our locations. As a matter of fact, Talia is a student ambassador, and she does host and lead campus tours 6 days, one of our campus tours 6 days a week, so you might be able to see her friendly faces. We also send student recruiter advisors like myself abroad, and so we might have a recruiter advisor visiting your region or maybe even your high school. So definitely check out our events page. And we also have online information sessions throughout the year, and we have a couple events each month, so feel free to sign up or check out when the next event is on. I also recommend that you check us out at Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or YouTube to find out more about the students that make up UBC and for more information about UBC. And once again, I'd like to thank you so much for joining our presentation here at the University of British Columbia. My name is Cherry, and this is Talia, and we hope that we see you in the near future. Thank you.